Hello everyone, Sunsenduck2, welcome to another mod overview, this time on packages for fabric. A mod that is simply a rewrite of worse barrels, but for fabric, at least according to the starting sentence there. So, pretty much what it adds is a barrel, and it also adds a package crafter. So what it can do is simply, I assume, just be a ordinary barrel. There's no additional upgrades or benefits to it at all. It's simply just to be a barrel for storing things in. They're meant to be affordable, and act as a more limited shulker box. And yep, you can store up to 512 items. You can always nest them inside each other, and you can measure how full they are with a comparator as well. As well as also crush them with pistons to break them, and dispense them with a dispenser if you want to place them in the world. But yeah, so what you'll want to do though is make a package crafter made with any logs, a chest, and any planks. So you just place them in the world like so, and that's what it looks like. And then you have an interface. So this GUI will obviously be useful for placing a frame, a core, and a color. And then there's a button to obviously output a package. Now, not everything can obviously be used as a core frame, so you do have to put in specific blocks. So stuff like glass isn't going to work, but if I put in, say, iron in the frame or core, then that'll work. Wool seems to work. If I try others that aren't, say, ores, for example, there's that. If I tried something like leaves, it doesn't work. As you can tell, dispensers do though, so just go wild and find out what's available. But my guess is certain like common blocks are going to most likely be placed in here, or certain decoration ones. But yeah, some others like leaves and such that don't really have block like properties that much, I guess, are not going to work. Something like even the torch isn't, obviously. Surprisingly, slabs do work though, so not just all whole blocks can be made for a core and frame. But we'll just place some random stuff in here, and obviously there's a dye color you can put in here, and yes, bone meal as well as lapis do not count as a dye option in here, or colored option in here, so keep that in mind. So we'll place this in here and we'll create it, and you can see that this is our custom barrel we've made. Obviously sandstone on the outside, lapis on the inside, and then the front display is red. So yeah, we'll just go between the two of these and see what we get though. We're just putting in some random blocks, like say magenta wool. We just right click, we can put one in, we keep clicking, so there's no other quality of life benefits like putting in massive stacks. So you'd mostly be just constantly holding down the click there. Or if we try to hopper, we could probably put some stuff in much easier. So we'll see if it does have hopper support. And it does. So if we want to put things in and out that way, we can. Otherwise though, I assume outputting should also be possible as well. If I do that and just say put some gold blocks in it, we'll see how fast it can output from it besides inputting. So that's how quick it outputs. Obviously it's up to the hopper, of course, for pulling out, but just so you can get an idea, and also in comparison to a player. Otherwise though, we'll test, I guess, a dispenser as well as a comparator output, as I think that's the only other things to really test. We'll just put some redstone down, we'll remove the hoppers, we don't need that anymore. Get our gold blocks back, and we'll just have that loop around and fill that in. So there's that, and we'll get our dispenser as well. And we can NBT this and we'll still have the following inside. Which I'll also try breaking these as well afterwards so you can get an idea. So you can see the outputting on the comparator. That's all the gold we have, unfortunately, even though we're in creative. Still does the stack removal like survival. And obviously each one will eventually, once it gets to, out of 512, it'll work out the signal. So, yeah. But obviously we'll test dispensers, we'll also test tools and other aspects as well. And that's still making its way. So, we'll put this in here, use a lever, and you see it just places it on the ground, obviously. If you wanted to drop it, it would then obviously be in need of a dropper, which we will actually test, because why not? I guess it will act exactly the same, of course. I'm going to want to NBT that. So this, and then we can just drop it out with a dropper. If we wanted to move it around that way, rather than placing it, having something break it, and so on. Speaking of breaking, we might actually test a pickaxe on these and see what happens, as well as an axe, I guess, for the crafter, which really probably doesn't matter, but either way. And we'll also test Silk Touch on these to see if we were to use Silk Touch, have it go through a hopper system and whatnot, if someone were to probably do something like that with these. And I can't search for enchantments directly in REI, so I'm going to need to find where they put Silk Touch. Here we go. I'll just get that a few times just in case I mess up somehow. So we got the lowest pick. I don't have survival there, so we're going to have to switch to it ourselves. So if we just do this with the barrel, it's taking things out of it. Interesting. So it's emptying. Interesting. Okay. Because it's doing the whole right click, left click thing of putting something in, putting something out, instead of actually breaking the block. Interesting. Oh, at least on the front, that's why. Whoops. So it keeps its stuff inside, similar to a shulker box, so that's good. We'll actually try doing this, of course, without Silk Touch, and we'll see what happens. My guess is it'll be the same, but you never know. So we'll break this, and yeah, it still keeps it inside, so you obviously don't need to Silk Touch it. So there's that. We'll break the crafter if we wanted to move it around our base, for example. No problem, just break it with your fist or otherwise. Other than that, we'll test the breaking of the package, and we can do that as well, so that's fine. So it doesn't matter on tools there. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. No, it doesn't have every feature in comparison to worse barrels, but I'm not exactly that familiar with it. I'd have to take a look at it myself, and maybe do a video on it. But yeah, if you do notice subtle differences, then you can tell that it's not a complete recreation. A fair amount of features are available though, but more will be probably available to maybe replicate the entire mod in Fabric, or it might just be up to a certain point, and if those other features are there, then whatever happens, you may or may not see it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.